Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Let's get in this bitch real quick. I got this video. We'll make this one a quick one. Like I told your girl yesterday, I'll make this one a quickie. Jokes. But yo, so let's just discuss this shit about Astroworld, Travis Scott, what happened recently. Look at my fucking hat bent up. I can't stop looking at that. But fuck it. I don't give a shit. But yo, let's talk about this shit. So, what's going on? Why ain't nobody really telling the truth? Why can't none of our black leaders break it down? None of our YouTubers can figure this out. And why is none of our black celebrities strong enough to admit it? Y'all don't think this shit is getting too far by now? You don't think this getting a little bit too much by now? I saw Bun B just now talking. I mean, shouts out to Bun B, but I'm sure Bun B knows what's going on, but we just can't say it. And that's the problem with our community. We cover a lot of shit up and we hold a lot of shit under the rug, but I'll just say it. So check this out. Travis Scott shit. So easy. I was watching Doggy Diamonds last night, and Doggy Diamonds with him and his homeboy that he interviews all the time. They got like a joint show and they were talking about it. And he said something like this stuff is too hard and we can't break it down. Or I know Doggy Diamonds knows, but maybe he don't know. Anyway, I commented on his page. I was like, yo, I'll break this shit down and I'll break it down easy. We've been 2 minutes in the show right now bullshitting, but check this out. So, if, I ain't gonna go on no Doggy Diamond show or nobody like that, but I know they watch my show. Everybody watch. I'm sorry to say it. I can tell y'all been watching, and I can tell you learning, and that's me being as humble as possible. But let me continue to teach, hopefully, and we can fix them. I don't know if you can fix this shit. This is some big shit, but you can be aware of this shit. So, Travis Scott, Astroworld, Houston, Texas. 8 people died at a concert, big concert. A lot of other people got trampled, injuries, got hurt. All right. We also hear there's people talking about, people are walking around with needles and sticking people and shit like that, and people were ODing and people was dead, just laying down on the ground dead, purple before the EMS could even pick them up. All this other shit. Also reports from people who were there saying it was all dressed up. The stage was dressed up like it was hell. Everyone thought that it was hell, like it felt like you were in hell. People died. If they will remember it for the rest of their life like they was in hell that night. All right. We also got reports. Well, a lot of people always we're on the verge of humanity right now, of breaking out and to finding out who these people are that's been preying on us. We're on a verge, but we're not there yet, because the people who we go to for answers are the bad guys. So the bad guys are never gonna tell you really what's going on. They're just gonna try to steer you away from it, like they do with that devilish shit. The devilish shit is fake. It's a smokescreen. It's not real. I mean, to a way you can look at it like it's a satanic plot, because it's preying off of people, especially the poor people, and it's preying off of people's energy and soul. So a way you can say it's satanic, but they don't necessarily think they're doing bad. So let me explain. We know since the 60s, after World War II, America brought over a lot of Nazis, and I hate to go deep like that, but we got to know this type of shit. America brought over a lot of Nazi scientists to teach them different stuff, like ways to get into space and shit like that. That's the cover story. Now, the Nazi scientists were over there experimenting on people. Also, Jews. That's, we know that's been going down. The concentration camps. We don't know how many people died in there. Some say 60,000, 600,000. Some say 6 million. Who knows? We do know they were experimenting on people. The German army has been experimenting on people before this, with, mustard gas and, World War I, shit like that. Now, not just the German scientists, but the German are funded by the big empire at that time. And they were, figuring out ways to take over the world. And they were figuring out ways to completely control a people from everything from everything they can do, from drugs, mind control, visual perception, alterate, all this different shit. Make you watch, death over and over and over and over and see what that does to your body. But all of that they were testing on people. And those tests came to America also. Tuskegee experiments, testing on people with syphilis. Bear headache medicine, factually got caught putting laced doses of HIV in their medicine in England. That was just a test, just to see what it does to the population. But who can run tests this big? When you look at your normal day, you see cars, you see people, going to work, you see taxis, you see planes, airplanes, but then you see a military plane and flying over. And you like, damn, I could never get on that plane, It's a level above where you're at. But the artists, celebrities, actors, rappers, they're all a branch of military intelligence, every single one. But not only them, the people who run them, their publicists, there's, everyone, the whole shit is military intelligence. But who runs the military? The corporations run the military, because the corporations, we might think America military is going over to Afghanistan to give them freedom. We think that, right? But really the corporations are going over there to grow poppy so they can give it over here to the pharmaceutical industry and make synthetic heroin that we call pills, and they make up symptoms and give it out to every symptom. They're selling drugs on a mass scale. So how do you test those drugs? You fucking, like we've seen with the acid trip with Grateful Dead, they giving out millions of trips and doses of acid throughout their whole fucking touring career. We've seen it with Woodstock. That's all it is. They're testing drugs. The crowd is the experiment. Houston, Texas. Let's bring it to Houston, Texas. We all know Houston, Texas is the home of designer drug. Why? Because Houston, Texas has a large Chinese population. You may have seen a movie called Lucy with Scarlett Johansson, where they stuffed designer drugs inside of people and used them as mules and fly them across country. One of the designer drugs popped inside of Lucy, and it caused her to trip out and do all this crazy, weird magic shit. Right? Chinese people were chasing her throughout that whole movie. Right? We know Houston, home of designer drugs, all the fake lean, all the pills, all the everything. We know Joe Biden is tied in with China immensely. We know we just ended the Afghanistan charade. Bet you we got some new nice poppy drugs we need to try out on the on the masses. Man, wonder if there's a nice concert in Houston that we can try this out. Oh, I'm sure I can think of one, Bob. Oh man, would those rappers ever deny us doing us? No, they won't, because they're our toys. These rappers are our toys, and it starts. And y'all want to talk about secret societies and all of that shit, and the devil worship and all of that shit. And it is levels in that shit like that. But look at this. The corporations want to sell those pills. Pharmaceutical industry. Pharmaceutical industry needs someone to go take over the pills in Afghanistan and Mexico and blah, blah, blah. They call the U.S. military. The U.S. military needs someone to sell those drugs to. They bring them to America. Now, there's a rat line, a whole line of drug dealing and shit like that, but they need a way to test the drugs too. Concerts, rappers. All these rappers are promoting drugs. That's what they do. They're making commercials. You think they're rap videos. They're really commercials for cars, clothes, and drugs, and sex. That's it. Gucci this, Louis that, Lambo this, Mercedes that, Lean this, Pop Pills that, Smith & Wesson this, Glock 9 that, shoot, kill, blah, blah, blah. It's all one line. Everyone should know this by now. But look at this. From the street level drug dealer all the way up to the corporations. You want to talk secret societies. Could you have a Mason on the street level drug dealers? Yes. Could you have a Mason in the military? Yes. Could you have a Mason in the corporate world? Yes. Could you have a Mason in the corporate business structure at the very top? Yes. That's one group of people in all of those structures that's making sure that this shit goes down the way it goes down. I mean, making sure nobody talks about it. Could the rappers be Masons? Yes, they are. Could the people on TV be Masons? Yes, they are. They're not going to tell you what they're doing. That's where the secret society shit come in. Then the devil shit comes in when this is a Judeo-Christian country. They're not Christian. They don't give a shit. They are travelers from the East. The East, China, don't give a shit about fucking Jesus. So they're not really devil worship, but they don't give a fuck about Jesus. So they're exact opposite of your shit, which you can consider some devilish shit. But they're going to play up that devil worshiping shit and make it like it's a Hollywood broadcast, because they need you to think we're on some devilish shit. So you don't see we're on some corporate military shit. Using you as test dummies, just like we used the Tuskegee experiments, just like we used the hippies. Hippies counterculture was made by the CIA, military intelligence, because they needed you to see the anti-war people as dirty, stink, dumb drug addicts. So you wouldn't believe them when they say we need peace and we need to stop the war. You won't look at that side and say, hell, you're right. You would say, oh, well, maybe we need to go to Vietnam, because those guys are dirty and stink drug addicts. But no one says we made them dirty and stink drug addicts just so you won't talk to them. It's magic. It's sleight of eye. That's the magic that comes in. If you don't know, corporations are the ones using magic after the Nazis did it. Corporations can get you up off of your couch and you go buy a burger just because they put a fucking video on TV that said, this Hardee's burger is so good. And you, like a dumbass, gets up and goes to do what they tell you to do. Go buy your burger or buy whatever they tell you to buy, because they're using magic on you. That's the magic part. We've covered the devilish part. We've covered the drug part. We've covered the designer drug part. We covered the secret society part. We covered the corporate part. Here's what's funny. All of our black community works for those people. Most of them. No celebrity. We don't have a YouTuber that's gonna tell you this shit. We don't have none of that shit. You know, they've been doing this shit forever. Grateful Dead is known for giving out acid. Woodstock, y'all know it. But then y'all will be like, oh, we need to give these people their flowers while they're here. But this whole industry is preying on our community and killing us and testing on us and using us in experiments. And we still send all of our kids to that industry. None of our leaders are speaking up against that industry. Why? Because military intelligence is bigger than rappers. That's why. Yet we look up to rappers. That's why we're fucked up. That's why we go to these concerts and get fucked up. That's why we love Travis Scott, even though he's obviously, that apology was some bullshit. He obviously don't care. They were telling him, yo, stop the show, stop the show. He obviously didn't care because his show is bigger than him. They just use him to pull it off. But it's a big conglomerate of people doing one thing at one time. And it probably was testing drugs at his shit. And it probably, the drugs was too fucking potent. Probably came from Afghanistan recently. And if China's running Biden, probably be a good chance to start testing before Biden leaves office. You get it? Breakdown of the Travis Scott situation. Just fact check me, you'll get smarter.